Welcome back, my lovelies, to another episode of the Macabre Maiden Metalcast, where today we're following our hearts straight into the indie realm. Cartoon hearts, to be exact. I'm your host, Ashen, joined as always by the ever feral, ever fabulous Jenn T.
Feral is right today. Hey, Ash. Hey, Jay. Welcome. Listeners, buckle in because we have a very special guest in the studio, the voice of the emotional architect behind Cartoon Hearts, Jay Kiorian.
Nailed it.
Awesome.
Nailed the last name. Nice. First try.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Jen's
what's up,
really
guys?
good at that kind of stuff.
How we do it?
Welcome.
Man, so, what brings us here into this lovely interview, is, for the record, is I first saw you, Jay, at Cartoon Hearts, all of the shenanigans in San Jose, October 3rd, supporting Bone Shredder at the Art Boutique, which I definitely didn't fuck up that name at some point. And
No.
never. I would never. I've definitely been a big fan ever since. I know I followed you on all of the socials that I could find, so we're really excited to have you here. And thank you. I'll give you a little round of applause. Do you have a
Thank you.
fanfare?
Yeah, I'm
Yeah, there it
very excited
is.
to be here. Very excited.
It's definitely our pleasure to have you. So, for the listeners who might not know the origin story, what sparked the creation of Cartoon Hearts? So, how did this project begin for you?
Yes, Cartoon Arts came about in 2021. I was going through a very transitional period in my life. There were a lot of big life events that happened. Some good, some not so good. And just overall it was I was just in a very heightened emotional state, dealing with all the change. And normally when I go through that kind of stuff, throughout my life, ever since I kind of started writing music right around 16 and stuff. Whenever I go through something like that, my way of working through it is putting pen to paper and writing. But at the time, I had been like, I was so far removed kind of from that side of myself. I hadn't, there lots of reasons, but I hadn't written any music for almost 2 years. I hadn't played a show in almost 4. I had really lost touch with the artist side of myself. And so when all that started happening at first, I didn't have that usual go-to. So I kind of fell into, I like to describe it as Cartoon Hearts was born out of self-reflection and unhealthy coping mechanisms. And it's because I didn't have that go-to outlet that I used to have. It just didn't feel natural.
Mm-hmm.
But
Right.
after about 4 or 5 months of kind of basically spiraling and just not dealing with things the way I needed to deal with them, I kind of hit a point where I was like, okay, it's either keep going down this path of trying to numb yourself and forget about everything.
Mm-hmm.
I kind of I was at a big moment in my life, and I decided, okay, I'm not going to spiral anymore. I'm going to confront this and deal with this. And so I literally, I hadn't played my guitar or my keyboard in probably 6 months at the time, but I dusted off the keyboard, I pulled it out and got on my laptop and I set up a little home studio, and I was like, all right, just sit down and see what comes of it. And that's when I ended up writing the first song that I wrote for both the record and as Cartoon Hearts, which was Around the Bend, Stone's Throw, which is the song I opened with at Arputiki. And it's the second to last off my first album. And that kind of just flowed out of me during that first writing session. And after that, I kind of realized I was like, okay, I got something here. And so I started pursuing that both as a means of continuing to work through what I was going through, and also as I had, rediscovered my love for music and writing and artistry. And I was like, okay, there's something here. Let's dive into this. Yeah.
That's pretty
Yeah,
awesome. And I think that's a
definitely.
really healthy way
Yeah.
to channel those feelings and the emotions that you were going through at the time.
Hell yeah.
Now, playing on that, so your sound has this very emotional shimmer to it. It's indie, it hits the alt rock notes. It's very cinematic in a lot of ways. Did that sound evolve naturally, or did you always have a clear sense of the vibe that you wanted as you were working?
Yeah. I mean, it's definitely evolved. It's been cool to see the way it's been evolving and changing over the last couple years. But I will say, from that first song, from stone's throw, it did kind of establish like a general vibe of like from now on, like the music I'm writing, the stuff I'm going to create, like it's all going to be like very emotionally charged, whatever the ear candy details are, whatever. At the core, it's going to be emotional and truthful and vulnerable. And so that kind of like, so I guess it kind of like set like a precedent going forward, but it definitely has continued to evolve, at least like genre wise and style wise. But I feel like core feeling behind the music has stayed consistent since that first song.
Okay, pretty cool.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I know kind of this transitions a little bit, but I was kind of thinking back to when I first saw you there at the Art Boutique, and I mean, there was so much energy, and it definitely stuck out. I'll be candid. It kind of stuck out almost the whole night for me for the performance wise. Like it was a highlight for me for sure. It was a lot of fun, and I would say you definitely have this like vulnerable but powerful stage presence, and I think that that really translates well from like music all the way to stage. What do you hope that like as an audience when they're there? What are you hoping that the audience when you're up there like? What are you hoping that they feel?
I mean, so the general and cliche answer. Well, number one, I hope they feel something.
Sure.
Because that's my main goal, and that's the way like to me live music is all about like evoking some sort of emotional reaction from the
Hmm.
crowd. More specifically, and with my shows nowadays, like my performances, I kind of have two main goals. The first being I want to establish a connection, between from the stage to the audience, and two, create like a sense of comfortability in a
Hmm.
way. Um, and like the best way I can describe that is just that like I don't know if you guys have ever felt this, but especially when I first started going to shows and stuff, and there's been a lot of shows I've been to, whether it's artists that I know or artists I don't know, but like anytime I'm at a live music event, like I want to be part of that experience and I want to go like all in to the experience because I think live music is one of the most special like human experiences you can have when you're
Yeah.
surrounded by people who are like feeling and thinking the same things as you, and you have this like shared love of the art and all that stuff, and then you have it coming back from the artist and all that. Like there's nothing, I go to so many shows because like there's nothing better than just forgetting about the rest of the world for like 2 hours and just
Hmm.
being in a room with strangers who love the same, stuff as you and just feeling that same experience. So anyway, sorry, rambling.
That's
I
okay.
digress.
It's
But
all good.
so it goes back to like that comfortability level that I try and establish on stage because like there are some shows that I go to where like you want to go all in and be a part of that like mutual communal experience, but sometimes there can be like a sort of hesitation. I
Mhm.
know I felt this a lot in like my younger days, and like you don't really know like what's acceptable or like how you're supposed to act, and you feel there's almost like an invisible wall of tension between you and the artist on stage, and it's usually not intentional or anything, but like you don't know if you can like fully commit and go all in. I don't know if I'm describing that right, but like basically one of my main goals is to get rid of that tension, get rid of that like hesitation as soon as possible, and just make it clear that like I'm inviting everyone in to this like experience that we're all going to have together. Like I mean, Ash, like you came, to see Bones, obviously you came to see
Mhm.
Randy.
Mhm.
A lot of people at that show were there to see Randy and Dog Party and Teens and all this stuff. And I was the
Mhm.
first opener, but like still I was like, I see that as an opportunity. Like everyone's there. They're already there
Yeah.
in the crowd. And it's like, why not make this as special of an experience as possible? Why
Oh,
not
yeah.
invite everyone in from the first note? And so I get those are kind of like my two main goals when I'm performing, and the rest is like, extra. Like I hope people can connect to specific songs and lyrics and all that
Mhm.
Yeah.
stuff. But like I think the baseline for me is just like right away make sure everyone's like feeling a connection and feeling comfortable and just like getting rid of that like weird whatever it is that kind of block between like person on stage and person in the audience.
Right.
Oh, yeah. I think
Percent.
you definitely nailed that. Like, I don't know, it
Well,
just
thank
you
you.
kicked off that night, like, so well that I just was the rest of the night was kind of a blur, but, like, the first, like, dipping right into it, I was like, "Whoa, okay, we're gonna start coming in hot."
Well,
And,
yeah, and
yeah, I think mission accomplished.
it's another thing too that like when someone asks you to open a show, like they're kind
Mhm.
of trusting you to like establish like the vibe,
Yeah,
and to kick off the night. And so I took that role very seriously and kind of curated my set list and stuff in a way to where I was like, okay, like from the first note, let's get this shit going. Like
That's
let's
oh,
get
yeah.
awesome.
this poppin'.
And it was,
So it's
was.
cool to hear that it like
Yeah.
that it translated and that it worked. So
Yeah, no,
Yeah,
that's
yeah.
yeah,
great.
and that's, hopefully that's a little high praise for me because 'cause I'm normally into, like, really heavy stuff, so, like, to come
Hmm.
on in starting off with so much energy and just
Yeah.
bam,
And I feel like
right in the face.
being able to warm up the crowd like that is such a special talent to have, because I,
It
like,
is.
personally have been to shows where it's like the openers could have done better.
Yeah.
I'll put that out there. So I've seen some really, really great openers in my life, but I feel like it does
Hmm.
take like a special talent or skill set to be able
Mhm.
to just grab the crowd's attention and like get it going from the get-go. And
Yeah.
then moving into, I guess, the next question
Mhm.
so it's
Sorry.
fascinating because you're not playing very heavy music, but the audience reacts with the same emotional intensity that metal fans do.
Definitely.
At your
Yeah, sometimes.
shows, have you noticed that emotional crossover in the fans?
Okay, yeah, yeah. What I've noticed kind of similar things to some of like the metal shows I've been like, most recently I saw Ghost on their last tour. I saw them in Nashville. And one thing I love about bands like Ghost um is how like performance conscious they are
Hmm.
and how like audience focused they are. And you just feel like no matter where you're at in the crowd, no matter what part of the set list it is, whatever song's going on, like you feel some sort of connection to who's on stage and the music that's happening. And so it kind of all ties back to like the kind of the what I was talking about in the last question of like establishing that emotional connection and creating like a comfortability and creating an environment where people feel comfortable to be all in to that experience.
Here for it.
And so it is cool because like I haven't I don't have like a metal background per se. I've played in pop punk bands and stuff like that. But like obviously my music is much more indie and pop and stuff like that. But I have kind of noticed that similarity to the way fans kind of buy into, metal music and
Okay.
stuff like that. Yeah.
So I'm hearing next time I'm ever at a show, I'm gonna go ahead and start, like, a mosh pit in the front, if you're cool with that.
Just to, like, do it the Amon Amarth way where everybody's like doing the bro.
Oh, yeah, there we go. Yeah, just kinda get everybody on board. Yeah, I love that.
Dude, I literally one of my like dreams is just I hope someday, I know my music isn't mosh really like doesn't like bring about the
Hmm.
need for
I
my
don't know, I
music
couldn't
doesn't
argue
like
it
create
would.
mosh pits necessarily naturally, but I hope one day there's a legs mosh pit. I'm
Be
gonna make
I
it
mean,
happen.
it
make it
was
happen.
there,
I
like,
just
the
wanna
potential was so close on
it
that
was
show.
there and
It was so close.
I was so close to just being like, open the fucking pit. But I was scared of it flopping that I was just like, how we doing? Just kidding.
We'll get
I think
there.
there was enough alcohol that it would've been fine.
Yeah,
Well, there's
100%.
definitely enough alcohol in me, but I don't know about everyone else. No, I'm just kidding.
I
I'm
mean, if
kidding.
you've got them
It was
wiggling
iced tea in the
It was
Southern Comfort
iced tea.
bottle.
Yeah,
It was
duh.
iced tea.
iced tea.
Horchata.
Okay. I mean, I think it's pretty fair to say if you've got the crowd out there like shaking ass and having a great time, you could probably get them to open a pit, especially at a
Dude,
rock
Yeah.
show. Like,
you
absolutely.
totally can. Yeah, okay, I mean, if Taylor Swift can get moshed, anybody can.
Can
I don't know
she?
why in
Has
all
Can
of
she?
she?
these
Yeah,
episodes I keep shitting all
I was
over her,
like,
but
have I missed
Did I miss
some
something?
news?
Was there a mosh pit at a Taylor Swift
There
concert?
might be.
well, people get kinda rowdy. Like, I've seen some clips where it gets kind of intense. Okay, maybe not like moshing, like, back in like, real moshing, but it's close, okay? I'm just saying.
They're
I've
just
seen some
shoving each
clips where
other.
somebody looked like they were gonna get hurt.
Yeah, that's just insane fans at Taylor Swift concerts.
This is very
Shit, you
That's
true.
might be
not
right.
mosh pits are like fun. Taylor Swift
True.
concerts, people are just like
We
fighting
can
each other.
have an entire conversation on comparative analysis between the two.
I guess
Yeah,
we could.
insanity
And hey, at
versus
the end of the
fun.
day, guys, the haters, they gonna hate, 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 hate Hey,
Wow. That's a deep that's
and the
so deep.
players,
So deep.
guess what?
Are they
Tell
gonna
us.
play?
They're gonna play.
Oh my
Damn.
god.
You know, someday
You
you
should
think
write
you're
a
going to
song.
stop, but
For me though, I'm just usually like gonna shake
all right.
it
I
off.
I
I
I think
yeah,
I'm sorry,
that's
I've
the
you
case
ruined
with
gotta
the
us
shake
shit
it
too.
out of
off.
that.
No,
It's
not at all.
over.
This is normal. This is normal
Yeah,
for
this
us to
is
talk
great.
about shaking ass all the time.
Yeah.
I
Me
just like
too.
to wiggle and like let loose. That's what the shows are about. I mean, come on.
Although when you're over 30, it's more just like I need a little Ben Gay before I start wiggling
Yeah,
too much.
like a leaf should sponsor
Little
us at this
icy
point
hot.
of our lives.
Yeah.
Give me some
Last
Motrin.
weekend, I tried to kick a soccer ball thinking I was an athlete again, and
No.
I nearly tore my quad off my bone. I pulled
No,
a muscle so bad. Dude, I was like
You gotta
barely
warm
able
up,
to
man.
walk for 3 days.
that those like tendon, like the deep tendon strains and everything. Oh my god, they're so
It
bad at
was
this age. It
so brutal.
sucks. So it sounds like you're using your legs, Jay, which segues great into our next little segment here. Because your debut
Nice.
single, Legs, really
Has this guy got the legs?
Who
No.
knows? Probably not.
No.
well, you have a song titled as such, right? Right. But
Yeah.
yeah, I mean, it puts you on the map from what we can tell. It's intimate, but somehow anthemic at the same time. Ash, do you want to ask the next question?
Yeah, I mean, I'm just trying to think like this, this soccer ball thing is really sticking in my head because I'm
It
a
is,
former
right?
soccer player myself. Like before
Damn.
I got 3 concussions, I was ready to go. I was training for the Olympics and I'm just thinking if I were to try to kick a ball now, I would probably die. And I mean, it wouldn't be pretty and I would
Yeah.
probably break something while we're at it. But I'm still stuck on that from moments ago. Firstly, I need to know, like Jen said, we're talking about legs, so we're going to go up with that.
Let's go with legs.
What
Yeah.
is the story behind that track? It certainly can't be you trying to kick a soccer ball and fucking it up, but what
No,
like
at the time I wrote it, I was like 26, so my body like wasn't shutting down on me yet.
good.
So I can still do normal, regular athletic things without ending up in the hospital. But legs is a cool story. Like I said, the first song I wrote for Cartoon Hearts and for the record and all that stuff was Around the Bend, Stone's Throw.
Mhm.
And there was like an earnestness to that. And there was like, it was, I felt like it was a very special song. And I felt like I had really like walked into something. And so I kind of just like continued after that. And I was like trying to write almost like, I don't know what they call it, like a sister song to that. Like, something similar, but like with a little more high energy, essentially.
Mhm.
And it was actually my little brother, who's also a very talented musician. He's, whenever I write new stuff, he's one of the first people I send it to. And he had his biggest criticism of me throughout my like musical career has just been that my songs are too, I don't want to say slow, but like slow and sad boy. And like
Oh,
he's always not like, he's always just been pushing me to like, he's like, write something more like upbeat and basically he's like, write a banger, just write a banger, dude. So like kind of with that advice in mind, and I already had like what I felt was like the titular track, like that was going to define Cartoon Hearts and define kind of like my artistry going forward. And it's got like, these emotional dynamics, and then and I just want to write like a counterpart to that just had more energy and would be more like radio friendly and ear catching and stuff.
like
Yeah, it's definitely a good earworm for sure. I know
Yeah.
it gets stuck in my head pretty quickly,
yeah,
very easily.
Yeah.
it's pretty good. And then, like you were mentioning in those emotional dynamics, if you could choose, what kind of emotional headspace would you say a listener should be in when they hit play on that song?
On legs?
Yeah.
Oh, dude, just be emotionally raw. Just the next time you go through just, something traumatic, and just put that song on and just let it. No, I'm just kidding. I don't know. You can be in any emotional state. It might have a different like impact on you. And that's kind of like the whole thing is behind it is it's supposed to be like actually, you guys used a great word for it. And anthemic. Was that, am I saying that
And
right?
yeah,
Mhm.
anthemic.
Yeah. It's supposed to be kind of like a proud declaration of being vulnerable or
Yeah,
sensitive or whatever, being like a hopeless romantic. It was meant to kind of just put a positive spin on that feeling of kind of like hopelessness and
sure.
stuff.
Yeah, I think it hits it pretty well, to be honest. For sure. It's I know I mentioned it when we were not recording, but it's true. It is
Mhm.
one of the songs that I play for people when I mention it. And I'm like, I think this is such a cool song.
Yeah,
And
that's
yeah, I think you really, really hit the nail on the head with that one. If you just write more of that,
Mhm.
you're gonna be like
I
Michael
know,
Jackson
dude.
in 2 years.
I know.
yeah, I
If
was gonna
only I
say.
could recreate that.
You can, you can. If you did it once, you can do it again.
I'm trying.
You're doing it. You're doing it.
You're doing it.
Well, that it kind of plays into a little bit with like being recognizable. So I really think that there's definitely recognizable cartoon hearts aesthetic, at least something that I've picked up on. I think Jen would probably agree with me too.
Mhm.
I kind of get this like colorful, dreamy, like slightly nostalgic sort of vibe.
Very nostalgic.
And did that is that something that developed out of the songwriting process, or like did the visual piece of it kind of come first? Like which way did that go?
It was definitely more the songwriting process.
Mhm.
One thing I've always struggled with as a musician has been like tying it to the visual,
Okay.
Mhm.
like music videos, album artwork, even just like taking photo shoots or whatever. Like there's some disconnect in my brain where I can't figure out how to take like what I'm saying and what I'm singing and like making it visual.
Mhm.
So, kind of just like over the years, it's been really cool, honestly, because like, for the first year I had pretty much a rotating band of different members. The second year it was more of a solidified lineup. And then now it's back to just mainly me and then Garrett sometimes. I feel like everyone kind of brought their own spin and their own flavor to it, and
Mhm.
and through like every live show we played, we kind of messed with our aesthetic. Like I always liked the idea of like a uniform looking thing on stage, and that kind of ties into the performance aspect again.
Mhm.
So, like we were working on our outfits and on our, stage props. I got those little neon hearts
The little
that
hearts. Yeah.
from last show. Yeah,
They're so
so it's
cute.
definitely developed through the music over the years. I feel like now I'm finally starting to like try and hone in on a more like specific and like recognizable brand.
Mhm.
And there's some people helping me out with that right now.
Nice.
But yeah, it's always just kind of like evolved with the music, and
Mhm.
it's cool because it's happened naturally. I feel like nothing's been forced, but at the same time, uh it's kind of one of my main goals right now, because I feel like one of my main problems with Cartoon Hearts and is just that I feel like there's not like a solid identity, whether it be
Mm.
aesthetic or like musically. Like I feel like, I mean, I see it as one of my biggest strengths, but I also like it kind of can be a big hinderer to like getting an audience, is that like I feel like I write across a very diverse sort of like across a lot of genres, and my music is pretty diverse. Like if you go through the last few singles and everything, like you have
Yeah.
Legs, and then all of a sudden like you compare that to like I Hope Your Ears Are Burning, and then you compare that to like All That Mess off the first out. Like there's a lot of variety in there, and I
Right.
like that, and that's one of like my favorite things about myself as an artist. But at the same time, it kind of makes it hard to like establish an audience, because it's less so selling them on like the music or like a specific sound, and more so like selling people on like the emotional connection, or selling them
Mhm.
on me. And a lot of people just don't like me, so it can be challenging in that way. um
Well,
but
they're
I've gone
missing
back
out.
and forth on it, and I've decided that I'm not gonna try and just like fit into one sound or change anything, and I'm just gonna keep letting it
Yeah.
kind of like flow the way it's flowing.
No,
And
I
yeah,
love that
Yeah,
idea too because I feel like
I
yeah,
do too.
that's
Yeah.
what you're saying is a contraindication, I guess, that like it's not appealing to one audience. I think because you're writing across a variety of genres, it's appealing to a broader spectrum, which is going to make you more marketable in the long run. But as a band, like how do you balance the emotional sincerity with the polished indie sound? What's keeping everything grounded right now in your current practice?
honestly, it's the guys that I have around me in like the studio and in the
Hmm.
writing process.
Okay.
My producer and engineer Olaf, we've been working together since before Cartoon Hearts. But that first record, it was pretty much me, him, this guy, Henry Chadwick, and then Randy Bone Shredder, who you guys know. And then since then it's still been kind of that same creative core to some extent. And then also Garrett Smart, who was playing with me at Art Boutique, he's been a really big impact on like the creative process and the songwriting and the
Mhm.
production and everything. So it's cool because it's a nice system now where like I just kind of like throw them this like raw emotional whatever and then slab a marble and then they help me like chisel it out
Nice.
and create like something marketable and more like universal and just like
Yeah.
structured, because I'm kind of just like all over the place in a lot of ways, especially as an artist. Are you guys old enough to remember Jimmy Neutron?
Absolutely.
God, yes. Yeah,
You remember
absolutely.
from the movie or Professor Calamitous? Was that Jimmy
Yeah.
Neutron?
I think so,
He was the
yeah.
guy who could never
Mhm.
finish like
Mhm.
anything.
Mhm.
Yeah, okay. So basically I'm like the Professor Calamitous of music, where I like probably as of now have like 50 half-written songs, and they just either disappear or sometimes they come back or
Yeah.
but yeah, so I've got a really good like crew of homies around me that come into the studio with me and that work on the songs with me.
It's dope.
And that's the secret behind it.
I love that.
Like it. I like that a lot, though.
Yeah, I was gonna say
I mean, you got so many pieces. Like eventually,
it'll
something's got
come
to stick,
together.
right?
And I was like,
Yeah.
I don't know if it's like an ADHD thing or like an artist thing, but I feel like that's very common to have
Mhm.
8,000 side projects going on at the same time.
Hmm. I wouldn't
So,
know anything about that at
yeah, me
all.
either. It's not all sitting right on the right or right to the right to me right now.
Wait, what's
I
to the
mean,
right of you?
All of my side projects. So I draw, paint, like do little, like with my homework and everything. I have like a million ideas at any given time. Um, that we're working on our little projects, is podcast included.
yeah, yeah.
Nice.
No, it's like 30 Rock. Liz Lemon, the character there, she does all the exact same thing. Will start so many things like, "Oh, I'm super into like wax candle making." And then all of a sudden, you know what? I'm going to be into knitting. And it's like all of these things that keep getting started. Yeah, that's definitely an ADHD trait for sure.
Yeah.
All right. So we have a fun segment here that I always like to throw at you. And these are just going to be rapid fire. So don't think too hard about the answers. We'll alternate with
Ooh,
them
speed
and
round.
throw some. What?
Speed round.
Speed round. That's exactly.
Speed
Well, we
round.
call it the lightning round because we're
No, I
sophisticated.
like that. I'm just sorry. Yeah. Lightning round. Speed round.
So we're gonna go just first thing that pops into your mind, like
Okay.
Ghostbusters. If it pops into your mind, just boom, just say it.
Okay.
Wow, that was a really old
And we can always
reference. Like,
edit it, right? If I say something
no,
wrong.
we're going in raw.
Yeah, just say
This is live? All right.
Okay,
It's
we're
live.
gonna
Let's do
start
it. Let's
off.
do it.
10
Let's do
questions.
it.
10 questions. You're gonna do it live.
Okay.
Okay, coffee or tea?
T.
cats or dogs.
Cat.
Sunrise or sunset?
Sunset.
Would you rather write from heartbreak or from hope?
Hope.
What color feels like cartoon hearts?
Pink. Purple. Pink.
All right.
Yeah.
Acoustic guitars or atmospheric synths?
Why can't it be both? Acoustic guitars.
If cartoon hearts were a weather pattern, what would it be?
What's like a combination of severe heat and like monsoons? I don't know.
Something in the south,
Tropical
whatever
storm of
those are
some
called.
sort. Something
There
in the
you go.
south. Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, yeah.
I
Every
think that's
day in the
it.
south. Yeah.
That's it.
Like
That's it.
like rain and thunder on a sunny day.
Got
Okay,
it.
I'm
Nailed
here
it.
for it. I mean, that leads to rainbow, so that's a great answer. If you had to replace one instrument with a completely ridiculous object, what would it be? We're thinking like kazoo, slide whistle, rubber chickens.
Oh, I would probably, I don't know, switch my guitar for like a broom with just like one string like attached to it.
I love it.
I don't
Like
know
Looney
that.
Tunes style.
Just
I don't know.
rambling.
I guess that would
Perfect.
kind of wouldn't really be able to make music off it, but it'd be funny.
It would be fun.
Oh, no. Just like two trash can lids instead
Ooh,
of
solid.
a drummer. Just Garrett back there, just like
Do you guys remember like the Emmett Otter? I'm sorry to segue.
no,
With the
Fine.
seasons coming up, like the Emmett Otter with their little like drums, their band when they used like the pals for the
The who?
drums and the little one string guitar.
Yes.
That's the visual that I'm getting there, and
Yeah,
it's
yeah,
so
yeah.
cute.
I'm feeling
Yeah.
it. I'm feeling that. I'm privy to the rubber chicken personally, but that's just me.
Have one behind me.
Okay, if you could score a movie scene, which like breakup, reunion, road trip, existential crisis, which would you choose out of those?
What were the options again?
Breakup, reunion, road trip, or existential crisis?
Road trip, probably for sure.
I
But
like it.
not to disrupt the speed round, but it's funny you asked me that because I actually have scored short movies before.
Did
A
they involve road
couple.
trips?
Actually, I don't think so. No, they did not involve road trips, but they were good. Yeah, yeah. I don't know.
Nice.
Well, I minored in film in college, and then
Okay.
so I was looking for a different like creative outlet or medium or whatever.
Yeah,
And
yeah,
then
yeah.
my classmates found out that like I did music, and so they started having me score their films, like little stuff, and then just kind of like kept doing it, and then eventually my professor hired me after I graduated to score one of his short films.
That's
It was
So
pretty
you're
awesome.
gonna
sweet.
be the next
It was
John
pretty sweet.
Williams is what I'm
I
hearing.
gotta
Hell
make my
yeah.
IMDb page is what
Yes.
I'm saying,
Do it.
Yeah,
basically.
you better. You better. I mean, I got
Yeah.
one and I didn't do anything really, so like you better get on that.
They call me the Brown Hans Zimmer.
Perfect. Okay, write that down, guys. Write that down.
We can
We
just
like it.
delete that part from the show. All right, back to the lightning round.
All right, last question. If Cartoon Hearts became a cartoon themselves, what would the art style be? We're talking like these anime, chaotic doodles.
Yeah, I'm kind of caught between two right now, and maybe you guys can help me choose. But it's like I'm split between like 90s like Tom and Jerry style. That's kind of where the name came from, was like the like
Mhm.
whole like
Mhm.
heart beating out of like a
Yeah.
character's chest, and like then smell pie and they float, and like that sort of like cartoonishness.
Mhm.
That or like pixel, like early Nintendo,
Mm.
GameCube sort of like this stupid thing on my wrist.
Always going to lean towards 8-bit. Like, I love the
I do
pixel
like a
8-bit
good
stuff.
8-bit. I do, because it covers like a wide variety. Like when I think 8-bit, I both think like these, and then I also think like new age. So it's like there's this weird dichotomy of both of them that I just
Wait,
instantly
can I
think of.
ask you guys something? And you promise you won't make fun of me?
Yeah.
No promises.
What is 8-bit?
That exactly where
It's
Is that the
that's
pixel?
that
that
style.
pixelated.
Is that this
Yeah.
one?
Yeah.
That's
Okay,
8-bit.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah.
Mhm.
I just think of like Legend of Zelda and stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah,
Yep,
that's
that's
8-bit.
8-bit.
Okay, we're
8-bit
on the
is
same
it
page.
covers anything in that pixely, like, 2D graphical time frame from, like,
Okay.
early NES, SNES, all the way to whatever they do now with those graphics.
Yeah, and there's like a
Yeah.
huge revival of that now too, so really cool.
Massive. Yeah, retro is in right now. Retro is super in. I mean, fanny packs, I always will mention this, fanny packs are coming back in style,
I feel like
so
we've talked
I
about
got
this
myself a shoulder
we have
bag.
on our last 3
see?
episodes.
A
I
shoulder bag
freaking
is
love
just
my
a fancy
pack.
fanny pack, okay?
Exactly.
It's a great concert tool.
It's a great concert tool, okay? I will fight anyone who says otherwise.
I got it for Europe because they wear them in Europe. But since I've
They
been
do.
back, I'm like, I like this. I like
Mhm.
this.
It's very
It's
convenient.
very
It's very
fancy.
convenient.
The
I don't
dads
like
of the
things in my
90s knew what they were
pockets.
doing.
Reach in there and grab whatever you need,
Yeah.
That's what I'm here for.
I love it.
Well, speaking of what is in and what is popular right now,
Mm.
rumor has it that you may or may not have a new single dropping sometime within the next few months, maybe? I don't know. Can you tell us a little bit and maybe give us a little sense of the concept behind it? Get a little sneak peek, if you will?
Maybe. Who told you about this?
Maybe.
A
Just a
little
little
This is
bird.
supposed to
birdie.
be
Just
supposed to
flew
be
in,
under
was like,
wraps.
"Hey, this
This
idiot."
is supposed to be deep under wraps. Yes, no. Like I told you guys this week, I have a single coming out probably February of next year. I'm very excited about it. It's called "Cause for Concern." I actually started writing this song about 7 or 8 years ago,
Mhm.
initially, and about like 2 years ago, I revisited it and wrote more of it, and then I brought it into the studio last year, and we
Mhm.
ended up finishing it. It's very different stylistically from anything I've put out before, especially like as a single.
Mhm.
It's
Mhm.
more ballady, more, I don't know, more acoustic instruments, and there's violin and there's those. But yeah, I think it still follows kind of like the formula that I've like started to establish with my songs. I'm really excited about it. It's very like lyrically vulnerable and pretty intense, but
Mhm.
I'm very proud of it. We're working on a music video. I won't spoil too much about the music video, but I'll just tell you I'm learning how to sing it backwards right now.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, yeah.
I like it. I'm
And
here.
and yeah, it's pretty much, I mean, I sent you guys, it's almost the final mix.
Mhm.
And there's just a few tweaks that need to be done, but like the song is pretty much done.
Yeah.
I
And
like
so
it.
yeah,
So if you're willing, could we play a short preview for our listeners? Just a little taste?
I'll allow it. I'll allow it.
I'll allow it.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
No, that'd be awesome. Here's a Macabre Maiden Metalcast exclusive. Brand new Cartoon Heart single, Cause for Concern.
Or is there a chance he rejuvenates his faith? He restores his mental state. Oh, there's no cause for concern, my love. I'll be here tomorrow. Oh, no reason to be alarmed. I swear I ain't going anywhere.
Well, that was a great little taste of an amazing song that I think is going to do quite well going forward. So I wish you the best of luck with that. It's fantastic. And thank you very much for sharing with us. And speaking of everything else, thanks so much for having a little sit down conversation with us with all the shenanigans that we went over today. It was an absolute blast. Absolutely.
Yeah, no, thank you so much for having me. I was looking forward to this for a while, and it's really nice to finally connect with you guys. Yeah, ever since we met at the show in October, Ash, like I've been a big fan of yours. So it's cool
Oh,
to get to be on your guys' show and be a part of this. So thank you so much for having me. I feel very honored, and this was really nice. This was a really fun conversation.
yeah, no, it was. It was a pleasure having you. So nice to meet you, Jay, and really looking forward to everything you're doing.
Hell yeah, you too, Jen. Thanks, Ash. Thanks, Jen. It was a pleasure. Hope to talk to you guys soon.
To talk to you soon. Ash, I don't know if you want me to do the outro, if you can hear me, but thank you to
Go
our
for it.
listeners too. Guys, go ahead and look up Cartoon Hearts if you haven't done it yet. Their music, it's heartfelt, it's honest, it's beautifully cinematic. And Ash would say, stay spooky, stay curious, and we will see you next time.
Hell yeah. Hell yeah. Good night, guys.